Hello, my name is Kemi, and the ladies and I welcome you back to another exciting episode of Bump Love. If you haven't subscribed, I think you should hit subscribe and press that bell so you receive notifications of our episodes when they drop every Friday. On the show today, we will be discussing the complexities surrounding female relationships. I know you hear most people saying, I'd prefer to have male friends, those relationships are less chaotic, etc. So on the show today, we are going to dive into the discussion of female friendships. So ladies, I'd like to start the show off by asking, what kind of relationships, which type of relationships have you had that have come to an end, and what reason did this happen?
Let me start with one that I had when I was much younger. Relationships got more serious. Yeah, but there's one I want to start with that. So I've had really main relationships, friendships that ended, and the ending was different in that this first one I want to talk about, I got literally heartbreak from the end of the relationship, and then the other one I will talk about, which was a more recent one, it was relief that the relationship had ended, the friendship. Yeah. So I remember the first one, you guys, I had a very close friend, we were really close, and she started dating a close family member of mine, close relative of mine, a guy, but the guy was pure Casanova style. He was dating everyone else on campus, right? Yeah. So once he saw her, we were together one time, we had just reached campus first year, and he's like, hey, that friend of yours, guy is nice. I was like, don't, please assist me, leave us alone. But still, he entered that vibe, that chick. She allowed me, started dating real seriously. Now he came to me and promised me, we are going to be good, don't worry. Actually, I've been feeling that maybe I have no real connections with women. I want to do better. For me, I tell you, giving people a chance. Why not? We move, we continue. Semester passed, we are now in second semester. A friend of mine sends me a picture of him and her roommates.
Oh Lord.
Yeah. And says, excuse me, madam, isn't this your kuzo? Come he's the one. Who is that chick? Yeah, what do you mean? I remember you told us that guy is dating somebody.
Yeah.
But he's here also dating my friend. And they are in a real relationship. It started last semester.
Oh, Jesus.
Real relationship. I pick up the phone, I said, excuse me, remember we had a conversation. Yeah, and for me, I owe it to my friend to tell her everything. And I want to tell her, and he said, by the way, if you do, you're going to see. Okay, and me and this relative, we are really close. It was even banter at the time of, now where you leave the girl, bitchy. You know us, we are men, we are guys. It's kawaii, it's okay. I said, no, she's my close friend. This is a big deal. Cheating for her is a deal breaker. It's not happening. He didn't deny. He admitted to cheating and having another girlfriend in another university. I'm
already feeling palpitations.
I called my friend in Mary Stewart from Africa. I said, excuse me, madam, I'm coming to your room. Know the rooms of Mary Stewart? Climbed. Started the conversation. I told her everything that I knew, showed her the picture, everything. And then we even called a friend of mine who had told me. And she explained that guy is here almost every day. At what point is he with you? Even her, she said, he's also almost here, almost every day. That girl said, now, she was like, what, Kumla, I'm so thankful for a friend like you. This is Pananga. You know, some people keep quiet, they don't communicate, they don't tell their friends. We left her, we are happy, we are good. We have even now, she cried there. I gave her a shoulder there to cry on. We finished, we've even thrown some bush shots of whiskey down our throats. We are good. She's like, now, she's going to like, be calm, bitchy. Don't talk to him when you're like this, you're so angry, you're so mad. He was supposed to come and pick her up that night. On my way back to Africa Hall, I call my relative. Excuse me. I've told her. I'm just letting you know you're going on a date, but I've told her, and I'm just giving you full information.
Banange.
Dear, the next morning I woke up and found messages upon messages upon messages about how I'm now. I had just gone through a bad breakup from the guy who broke my virginity, so I was also not in a good place.
You're not
okay emotionally. He used that against me and said, I'm bitter and lonely And I don't want the best for anybody. When I see people happy, I just want to break them.
Wait. Was this your friend or your cousin?
No, this is my cousin who's telling my friend. He had already warned me that I'm going to throw you under the bus.
Yeah.
Please, they are going to choose me. He literally told me, Pumla, they are going to choose me. Now, this is the girl speaking. Now she pick. I saw message. I pick up. I call. I was like, Madam,
What's
what's
happening?
this? We had a really good healing conversation yesterday. She said, no, Pumla, now I realize after so much, me, I'm there quiet, shocked by the change in attitude. She says, the last words were, anyway, I have realized that my happiness is not good for where you are right now.
Oh, Jesus.
So I think it is a good time for us to part ways. Since you can't be happy for me, even when you're struggling.
Oh, Jesus, hold
That was
me.
the last conversation
Oh my.
we ever had. Pick up the phone, call my male relative, laughing on the other end. Nakugamba nabachwa ekikulu, you don't know where to stop. Inze okuve olwo, my dear. Ewali abagalana.
You don't put
your
your
change. I stopped. That was the last time. I even tell my friends now.
Your relationship with your
Banange, I have
Hey,
questions.
we are very close. I even went for, he got even married, moved on.
Not
Now,
to
please
your
note,
close
that
friend.
relationship only lasted another semester. Imagine this was a friendship of a girl I had known right from primary school, through high school, through campus, decades, just trashed like that. One semester later, they had broken up because she found out the truth. Later.
She already knew the truth.
She already knew, but you know, I think this guy just entered her head. The guy entered
People,
her
we
head.
shall not skip to the next part of the conversation. But
Yeah. So I literally, my relationship, the first heartbreak, and that heartbreak hurt me. I used to sit for a long time wondering, why did I go wrong? I thought this was the right thing to do. Turns out it was not.
wasn't.
That relationship was severed. That was the end of discussion. We only met again now in adulthood life.
But
where
it's
you
not
say
the
hello.
same, yeah.
No, it was not. We are not friends.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, hello, how are the kids? How is the home? How is the family? No relationship. Actually, I even forgot about the breakup that I was suffering.
Now you
before.
are mourning this
I was
friendship.
mourning a loss of a friendship. It hurt me so badly, actually. We were really good friends, like everything. She was like a really nice person to me. We were good for each other.
Yeah.
There was nothing, just one made her dismiss us. That was it. Yeah.
Just one conversation.
One conversation.
And you know, I know we are going to blame the other gender, and I don't think we should, because your relationship should have counted for something.
You think, but also we were really young. I'm sure that would not happen, because I've had the same kind of thing happen in my adulthood, and it's gone okay. And actually, I didn't, because I had decided never to tell my friends that. These days, I'm real open with my very close friends.
Yeah.
And I ask them, if I ever found you in a situation, do you want me to tell you? And there are people who have honestly told me, I don't want. Yeah. And I respect it, and I don't.
Okay.
And there are people, and one of the people, it only happened once again, when I communicated with her. She was happy to hear it.
She was happy to hear.
Yeah, and she took it well.
And of course you were younger.
No, we were young, you guys.
Counted, you're like,
We were
I have to
young.
tell you.
Yeah, so
Stupid,
she preferred
and you
the
guys,
love.
that guy had the vibe.
Yeah.
As in, even me.
Choose you,
Yes,
right?
he was of my blood. Like, if he decided to take you down, you know those guys who, when you meet them, their birthday is always like a month after you've met. You know those men? Have you never met those men in your life?
So what is that supposed to
They wine and dine you in that month. Then when their birthday, pretend birthday reaches, now because you're the woman, you're in love, you full go all out for them. He was the type of guy. That's what he used to do. And I even told her about that in that conversation. That they were celebrating the wrong birthday. But did she? Anyway, we were young. I mean, I attributed it to. We were young. We were really young.
Yeah, but
It
there's
was
some
first
adults
year,
who
we were
still
18.
wouldn't allow. Let us allow.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah,
And it's
adults who
happening
wouldn't
a
allow.
lot. Anyway, yeah. Now I'll send my other one, the real one, later. Let me first listen to
maybe
your,
let me go after
your
yours,
stories.
because so I had a friend who I met in a work setting, and now that I am wiser and that I've read a lot about female relationships, I know that there's no such thing as a work friend. Your work friend is someone that you meet at work, you get along, blah blah blah, because of proximity and because you spend a lot of time together. Anyway, so I had this work friend. We did pretty much, so we worked together, worked in the same environment, and we started to talk and spend a bit more time beyond work. the way I know that someone is very close with me or someone is intimate with me and that I can allow them into my space is if we're able to share intimate details about our lives.
Be vulnerable.
Yeah, be vulnerable with each other. And so I put her in that category. This is my really, really good friend. And so a time reached and our work started to overlap. So we started working really closely together. Before we were just in the same environment, and now our work was like overlapping. And now that's where I understood, I guess, who she really was and how she was not able to, for her, she separates work and friendship.
Yeah.
She doesn't leverage friendship in the workplace, which I know how to do. Because you're my friend, I feel like I'm able to sit down with you, Pumla, and say, I don't like how you spoke to me, or maybe you're slacking, or maybe pull up your socks, or you're incompetent here, and I will respect you for that because you're my friend.
Yes.
When it comes to this person, she instead pulls back and sulks and shuts you out because maybe you're not meeting her expectation.
Yeah.
So that's what happened.
It seemed. What expectation.
Yes, that one. But now I was not meeting her expectation in the work setting. So now it affected the friendship, which left me confused. I was like, wait a minute, what is happening?
Right.
You mean because we're not getting along at work, so we can't talk to each other? When I come to say hello to you, literally, you are a wall. I don't see you. You don't look up, you don't acknowledge me, nothing.
You know what's funny? You know, on the contrary, while you feel like, oh, she's able to separate.
Yeah.
I think she actually wasn't able to separate.
Oh, really?
Because when her
Think about it.
expectation was based on you being a friend.
Yes.
It wasn't based on you being a professional.
So
It
it was like she expected me to know better.
like you
Maybe.
as my friend.
My friend, you shouldn't.
How
Oh.
could you send the email
Is it?
as a friend? How
everyone
could you say
else
that
was
in
thinking that's all I heard.
everybody else
Really?
can be a professional, but
Because
you
if you have a colleague and they're not meeting your expectations in the
Yeah.
work setting,
And you're not
you should
friends,
be,
you would
and you're not
you tell
friends.
them, right?
Yeah,
Tell them.
you just be professional about
So
it.
when you're friends, shouldn't it be easier?
No, for
It
her
should
it
be.
wasn't. It should be, but for
Maybe
her
it was also just personality.
I think it's personality. I think it's personality.
Wow.
Anyway, so we went through that phase where I was left literally confused, but just like you, my heart was breaking.
Yeah.
Because I was like, okay, our friendship should have counted for something, you know? And eventually I was like, I'm not going to hurt myself anymore, so I left it. I stopped saying hello, I stopped trying. Eventually our work stopped overlapping because something along the lines of HR and blah, blah, blah. Like I was not confirmed for that particular position,
Yeah.
so I abandoned it. And it was a relief for me because I had been hurting. So it made working very difficult. It made going to work very difficult. I went through a really bad phase. You know how you wake up in the morning and you think about your day, you don't want to go anywhere? And I would start crying. My husband used to say, why don't you leave this thing? Leave it. I'm like, no, I have to try.
Yeah.
So when I stopped that and the work sort of stopped, so that the relationship is not there. And it got so bad. Yes, just like that. It got so bad, I was blocked on Facebook. Social media. I was just like, okay.
What did you not do at work?
You know, to this day, I don't
don't
get
know.
it. I
Have
don't.
you sat down and had a conversation?
So even,
about
yes, I
it?
got to that point because I feel like when you're friends with someone, again, it should count for something. If something is going wrong and if the relationship is bound to end, I feel like a conversation needs to be had.
Yes.
So I reached out and asked for a conversation. But the conversation went such that I was apologizing for things that I thought I had done. Maybe I was maybe I seemed ungrateful for the work that we were doing, or I seemed incompetent. So I apologized in the hope that
that maybe it would be
there would be-
reciprocated.
yes, but
Nothing.
it was not. Yeah,
Nothing.
it was not. It was sort of like, oh, it's a good thing you have come to that conclusion because
Yeah, you are badly.
this conversation was never going to happen if you hadn't reached out.
How old were we at this point
Old.
in time?
This is
Old.
work life.
30s, over
Yeah.
30. Oh, wow.
Early 30s. Late 20s into early 30s.
Well, we kind of should know better, right?
Yes,
At
we
least.
kind of should know better. And so when that happened, I feel like it left me feeling worse than I did, but at least I knew where we stood. So it's sort of like, oh, maybe we're going to get back to where it used. I was still delusional.
Delusional.
But at
I
least
hope that
now-
maybe I was going to get, but I know how we place so much importance on social media, but it's a measure of friendship today. I hope that I was going to get reinstated. Reinstated, yes. Wow. So it never happened immediately, and the relationship was not the same. We limped on until I healed, and that healing took a couple of years. I mourned that relationship.
Yeah.
I grieved it because I was like, I had placed you in this special box of my close friends, and now here you are showing me that. So I tried a few phone calls after that, and it was always cold, and I was just like, you know what, Rachel, I think you're better than this. So just
Let it be.
let it be.
Let
Do
it be.
you feel you've healed now?
Yes, I think I have. I think I have. Yeah, I have.
Bam.
Yeah.
So that was my
I think mine happened when I was much younger, early 20s. Very, very close friend of mine. I think we were finishing campus when we got close and then entering the workspace. So I entered the workspace and she worked in a corporate place and I was working in a normal shop. By then, that was my first job. I was working in a bookshop actually. So we got so close and things were good. You know, she was dating, I was also dating. But you know, a friend that is jealous of anyone else that will be close to you. She wanted herself exclusivity.
Wanted to be your best friend.
You get
Only
you are
friend.
pretending. Exactly.
And that's
there
not
she would
Rosette,
see
right?
Not Rosette, not me. Like that
She
is.
wasn't respecting my relationship with Rosette.
My mother would always complain.
I just feel like, oh,
She did not. Even my boyfriend then, because we started dating early, and like it was, like she was that jealous. She was very insecure. Anyone she would see around me, she would give me plot. She didn't want me to meet my boyfriend. She would always give me plot in the evening. Come, let's watch a movie. And of course, because if my boyfriend has given plot, I'll be like, Kawa, let's go. So we were really, really, really close. So it got
By
to a
force.
point, like by force, whether I want it or not. But I loved it, like we understood each other. It was a very, we had a blast. It was a very good relationship. Until it got to a point where it was getting a bit toxic. Like as everyone else was now getting agitated, even my mom herself. So the story that got to where my mom also said, you know what, she needs to give you a break. So she said she went to a lady who was trying to get us jobs abroad, work/jobs, like a deal that sounded so good. Go, they're going to give you, you'll study, get a job immediately, get everything you want. Like I said, get 10 million, we need to do this. And broke me by then. So I think she had someone that was able to fund. But did she even go? Turns out that she was a Mufere who was doing all this. The woman who was pangaring that we go. To a point that I started to block her because I was getting uncomfortable. She was pushing too hard. She came home, told my mom she needs to go. Mom is like, you know what? The truth is she does not have the money. She can't afford. And then when it goes to my boyfriend's ears, he was so pissed. He's like, he was really pissed. He's like, so she wants to take you. She really doesn't want this relationship.
She likes women, and she saw you and she was vibing you.
No, she was actually straight. It's just that she was in a long distance relationship. So all her friends, all of us were dating. Manuela remembers that just properly. All of us were dating, apart from her who was in a long distance relationship, and her relationship was going on okay. Like if we're talking about our relationship, she would also be like, yeah, my guy, he's in, but yeah, we're good. So there's lots of things, like when I looked back, at that point when mom told her, you know what, I think you need to go slow. Like she's not able to, and for her it really pissed her off. She's like, how? Like you need to hop onto this. She like was driving me speed. You know those people who want to drive you speed. Yeah. And I'm not that person. Like you don't drive me on your level. Let me be. Yeah. So now my husband also my boyfriend then started being very uncomfortable because every time he would give me plot, I would be telling him, okay, I'm with her, we have something. He's like, oh, okay. So what's this? So you're choosing her over me. What's happening? And then it took us back to series where...
but let me first say something. So there were times when he would call me, he's like, are you with Rosette? Then I'm like, no, she's with her. Yeah, but Manuela, could watch it Rosette.
Are you serious? But she was such a thorn.
She was a thorn. Like even the guys that I work with, like there was a work friend I had then. She would like she told me a while ago. She'd be like, I would be so pissed to see that girl waiting to pick you, because she would come and pick me from work. Yes, she would come and pick me from work. We would be in each other's space.
That girl wanted you, Rakuba, you don't.
No, she did.
I really
No, she
don't
didn't.
think
She's
so.
those people who had a lot of love, quote unquote. You know, there are those people who have.
I love you.
I love you so much. It's yes, bordering on very yes. We love each other.
We have to eat together. If it's a movie, let me keep it. I'll watch it when I'm with you.
When they
So,
buy
like,
earrings, you get the same
We have to
pair.
go shopping together. So it was.
Are we 12 years old?
We were 20.
My point.
We were 20, so anyway, we're in our young 20s, and yeah, that's the space she was in, and I think I wasn't in the same space, honestly. So to a point where I now started to kind of detach. Like I really loved her, but I had to, give her a bit of a distance so that the other relationships I have
Can flourish.
can flourish. My boyfriend's relationship had to flourish. Everything
other
else had to
girlfriend.
flourish. Like you can't kill everything for me, really. Who are you in my life? Surely. But even when I'm detaching myself, like it's a strong, like it was a close one. I was feeling bad that I have to, in a way. Until she also started, no, actually the last one was when I realized she was also a bit jealous. Because when I got a job and they gave me a car, because I've been driving those company cars for a while.
Yes.
She said a statement. I can't believe you're driving before me. But you know those statements that someone says when you're close, you don't get it until later.
Yeah, you think about it
You think
after
about it
the
after.
facts. Yeah.
Like, but what was it supposed to mean? Like oh my God, I can't believe you're even driving before me. Like,
But auntie, also because I don't want to defend her in any way, but you know, when you are not born in poverty, you can't understand this situation. We were all poor. We are living there in Wayi. Say,
Even her.
We're all there. Why is it?
Average.
But of all of us, she was better off.
oh yeah.
Like her family had a
Yeah,
home,
she had brothers
who were working. So the expectation actually was that she was really lifting Rosette. Now let's go abroad. Hence the need for 10 million. Now let's go. Now you've got you are working where? Let me come and pick you up. Let's walk together. So when she started to drive her car, she was like,
Yeah, because when I changed jobs, they gave me a
hold
time
on.
again.
That's not
Like,
how this is supposed to happen.
You get. Yeah, I'm supposed to be ahead.
I get it.
I'm kind of supposed to be ahead of you. I say you really, running faster.
They stay here in your head.
And she said them. Yeah, she said
Even when they stay in your head, they come out in the way you react,
it
When
comes
the-
out.
your
Yeah.
actions,
Even by
somehow
merely thinking about it,
clearly.
friendship.
Yeah, clearly states
Then
there's
there's
something not
conversations a while
right.
before when we had fights with my boyfriend then, and you could see she really wanted to tear the relationship apart. It's like if you've had this slight fight, I don't think that's the best thing. You should do away with that.
Yeah,
Like,
break
Meanwhile, the
up.
boyfriend is now the father of her 4 children.
so
I mean, you had to let her go.
I had to let her go. It's a relationship that really hurt because we were really close, but she also stopped communicating. I had to stop communicating to let everything else in my life thrive, and that's how it ended. From that time, yeah.
It's been toxic. Let's go.
Now that Rosette has spoken money, the truth is I had a completely different angle that I was planning to take, but now that she mentioned it, those who know me know that I've been blessed to have a bit of money, but money doesn't move me much. We'll be there, we are happy what we have, we have. If we don't have, we
You were
share.
born into it. You're okay. You tell the one of poverty.
Hey, Mandela is like,
That money doesn't move.
okay, now that no, of course, now I'm older with the changing times. I now know the value of money. But generally speaking, money is never the thing that I put first in any kind of relationship. And yet, it's the one thing that has made me lose 2 of my most
Your closest friends.
closest friends, whereby I felt that they would have been able to understand that for me and I give. I give, and I never think about it at all. I'm like, if we have together, it's okay. But when money was put in that position where somebody can feel that if I take from this person, they won't feel anything.
So they were taking money
From, yeah, you know, a relationship where you're taking money from me because you're sure
She'll be okay.
she'll be okay. If she can't fix it, maybe her dad will, or her husband will, or her brothers will, you know. But then you put me in a position.
She wants to miss it as much as I need it.
Yeah.
Exactly,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, much as you might need it, but anything you've asked me for,
I've given
I
you.
might say, let's wait. But I would always, you know, provide.
Yeah.
Then you also go into this situation whereby you and I sit and we discuss as soul sisters. We're like, you know what? We are going into this thing. We don't have that much, but we are going to make it happen. So we get into this situation and we don't have much, but I'm able to get much from somewhere else. And I bring this much and put it into this union.
Yeah.
And you're the first person who says, it looks like Angie fleeced me.
What?
And you're like, Lord, you know that painful thing. And you're hearing other people saying it, but in your heart, before you hear it from them, you're saying, I'm sure she'll stand up for me. I'm sure she'll say, you know what, these things happen, but the Angie I know did more than anything. If anything, as I said, I removed money from this area to be able to add to this foundation. So when that happened, I'm the type of person who loves to have a conversation of, you know, okay, what happened? I'm sorry. You know, the truth is here and here. I also feel I should have, you know. Then you say sorry to me. Then also me, I say sorry. And then we make up.
Rachel very nice, like our boss. It's okay.
Boss. There.
Yes. It's okay. And then you kiss and make up.
In my heart, I always have this thing that somebody will sleep and wake up and remember what we had. Look at the numbers and calculate that 10 million cannot produce 30 million. Where did the 20 come from? That there is somebody who put in that extra. But then from that particular end of those two relationships, one has never said sorry.
Does she acknowledge that something that she did wrong, or you don't even know that?
In a way, yes, Bambi, they acknowledged, in the sense that whenever anybody maybe would go to them and say, they'll be like, no, that was not Angie. I will sort it out, much as they've never sorted it out, but at least they give that sort of credit. But what was the lesson I learned from this whole situation? For the first time in my life, I did not respond. I did not respond. I did not react. I sat there. I cowered. I was beaten from every possible angle. Where you hit me, you hit my children, you hit my family, and in my heart I'm thinking, you must be in so much pain. But hit me. Don't involve, you know, other people.
That's what they do.
You.
Isn't it easier to hit where it hurts you more?
But when you're a mother, how do you curse somebody else's child?
Because it hurts you.
Anyway, yeah, usually that's the angle they
And you see,
use.
and the thing with people who have rational or irrational expectations of irrational people is that you think that they will behave in a cordial way or a civil way, or at least girl, they will take you down to the ground and drag you.
Even if you believe that that person, but what, my thing is that one I understand now. But my thing is that if you truly honestly believe that this person naturally is not bad,
Still, rational expectations of irrational people.
And Angie and I were very much, I think we see the world differently. Like, Everyone is
I've
good.
heard that
everyone's
both of
good.
you speak about both those relationships that got severed.
Yeah.
And in my mind, you say exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
And it's what was refusing you, I feel, from really understanding how those people acted in the bad way, on the bad selves that they really were.
Now, thankfully, of course, with the help of Madame P,
Therapy.
I completely understand what
Yeah.
they did,
Yeah.
and I completely stopped trying to find excuses for what they did.
Because you bury yourself in that excuse. You want to rationalize the situation.
Why?
Why?
has to make
What
sense.
did they do? It has to make sense.
And
Thinking
yet
maybe
sometimes-
you're looking for, what's that word? Some closure.
Closure, you
Not
know.
every breakup needs closure. Sometimes,
That's true.
Sometimes
That's
it's just
true.
what it is. Let it go.
Yeah, and we thank God for that, because with age and hindsight and foresight, I let it go. I don't think about it. I don't even dream about it. If anything, now I'm in that position of, I know what I did.
Yeah.
Call me out, and I will show you proof of exactly what I did.
Yeah, but also I realized that you're protecting yourself from future, because she also understands herself and her weakness. But I realized, I don't know if you guys have realized, now she's like setting up a fortress like around her to protect herself.
On the Christmas show,
And it's a good place. It's a really good place. Yeah.
Guarding your space.
True.
So for me, you know, I'm listening to all of you guys. Lol,
But we're okay now.
So for me, I'm hearing all of you guys, and you are all on the right side. So me, I was the bad friend.
Oh, tell us. She was the bad friend.
Amanda or Napito, me, I can talk the person.
Yeah.
Because I was the bad one.
Yeah.
If I was the good one, I would not talk bad. So she was more than a friend. She was really like my sister. Yeah. And part-time mother. To me, because she saw what we were going through, and she just picked me up. Like, she went with me everywhere. She literally taught me life. She taught me life. She taught me about men. She taught me life. Like, she was much older. Yeah, she was much older. Yeah, she was much older. I've always had, actually, many of my friendships are much older women. Yeah. So we really had a good relationship, very good. This is a person who I remember, like, one of the biggest fights I was having, told Brian, I'm having a divorce. Whoa. She was a person I ran to. I didn't run to my mom. It's her that I ran to, you know. So we had a very, 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 very close relationship. I could talk about Amanda for 2 hours. That's the honest truth. I really honestly could. But we don't have that time. So now she leaves the country, and she has to go and study. So she goes away, she goes to study. Good times. By this time I'm married, I've had both the children, as in this is a recent breakup, quote unquote. So I'd had both the children. Now she comes into the country. And now me with my bad manners, and I've always shared with you guys my bad manners where it comes to friendships. I've not been, like, even when you say somebody broke, I'm like, I bet even people are going to watch this show and they're like, you mean I wasn't listed on the friends that broke her? Because the truth was, friendship didn't, it was only later in life. Like later of like 2018. I'm not talking where friendships started to make sense. So anyway, so she comes back into the country, and of course one of the people she's looking forward to seeing is who? Is Manuela. And now she has 2 children. Like, it would be so much fun, what, yeah. So we make an appointment to meet. Nga do I go? That was the time I was I was starting the depression was, it was starting, but I didn't know. I was just doing,
feeling a certain way, you are not sure.
I don't even know if I was yet feeling a certain way. I was just too disorganized. Let's just say that. The world was heavy on my shoulders. So I didn't make the appointment. right? Did I?
No.
She doesn't
Pana.
No,
Hey,
I
dear. No wonder the other girl wanted to steal Rosette. Anyway. So I didn't communicate, and then she communicates the next day, like, Madam, what happened? I'm like, oh no. Meanwhile, the story gets worse. So if you are still on thinking that was bad, it gets worse. So later, so I'm like, no, but you know what? It's okay. Let me come. Now, she had somebody she was supposed to meet on that day. So she called that person and said, you know what? And cancelled. Knowing that I'm doing what? I'm coming. 6 hours after I was supposed to have come, I call her. I'm like, hi, how are you? I know I'm supposed to come, but I can't come. But I need your help. I'm supposed to go out on a date with Brian. Can I bring my children?
Wow.
So she said, no, you can't. And that was the last time. Meanwhile, me at this point, I don't yet know. No, not that I was okay. I didn't know what was going on. I was going through a thing myself. So then, it was. But when I told you, you would understand. That time was so. That I don't know. I never wish that situation on anyone. You're building a business. You are getting married. You are trying to balance. You're getting it. It was bad. It was bad. So I of course I tried to call. She's not picking. Anyway, I find my ways. So the next day I call her. I'm like, you aren't picking my calls. I'm now the annoyed one. And then she tells me, she said, you know, Manuela, when you learn to treasure friendships, I'll be back. Oh, wow. But for now, it's okay. Phone off. And I still didn't get it. I still didn't get it because I was just like, but... So one time I need to go to, I'm going to the States. So I call her. I'm like, hi, I'll be in the States. I want to pass by. She's like, no. Wow. She said, no. I won't be, no. I'm like, are you? You're not around? She's like, no. Oh my God. No. Like, Banangi, what happened? So now it was later that I went through the whole phase, went through the depression, that then I realized. Meanwhile, but all this time I still don't know. I actually found out what I did this year. Oh. Yeah, I didn't know. I just knew. It didn't even come to me. She told me. She said, because, so what happened was after I went through this whole depressive episode, and then I started to change my life and my ways. This is now 2018. So all the way till 2021, 2022, I reached out to her. I say, you know, I really don't know what I did, but that's not the point. All I know is I hurt you. And we had a good friendship, and I want it back. It might not be the same. Naye, I will kufuba until we have something. So, but neither emotional me. Anyway, so we've been trying. We've been working at it. Yes, we've been really working at it. To the point that now she's like, I'm the one who has a problem. I now have a problem. Like, Bana Emanuela, you've overpassed it. Then she said, but do you know what you did? And I was like, no, I don't. I really don't. And this was based on actually the conversation. I was like, you know, I really don't know. Because we're going to have this show. I was like, you know, Amanda, I really don't know what I did. Tell me. I know I hurt you, but I just don't know what I did. What exactly happened? It's like, Manuela wa manira. And then she broke it down for me, and I was like, that's Manuela Banang. God, no. No one deserves that Manuela friend. Yeah.
That is not the only friend of yours that was really, really feeling bitter with your friendship.
Yeah.
All of us, including me, we were all feeling a certain way about you.
Yeah.
And it was really not good.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that she changed. She's much better than me.
No, man, that time was...
Everyone would be like, that's you. Manuela, can you believe what she did to me? And I'm like, I can
Me
believe.
too.
I can believe what she did. Me too. Story doesn't make sense, Angie, because these people have been there for you. They expect you to do the same. You get. someone has literally given their life, like they show they love you, and you're just not giving the same. It doesn't make sense.
That's
a
what
friendship is being really
Expectations of
irrational
people.
Exactly. Yes.
The backstory makes
Sense.
Yeah.
That is why it makes
Yes. You know, we try to rationalize some of these things, but at the end of the day, we are dealing with human emotions.
I'm glad.
And I was telling
Human
you.
emotions.
We are
Yeah.
dealing
And I
with
think
human
for me, that's why I
relations.
wasn't affected by her.
Yeah, actually, of
At
my
all,
friends,
because
said.
I don't. I'm like, you know what? You'll be fine. You'll find me.
Yeah.
And I'll move on. I actually
said.
moved on. I have many other friends.
You are
I'm like,
focusing
hey,
on
Manuela,
other
I
friendships.
sent you a message. You're not replying. It's good.
okay.
It's okay. I think you're going through a phase. Actually, believe because I knew there's a phase where her business was taking it on with her. I know how she's very intentional with her kids. Like all of you are not. It's okay. Also, as we have our things, it's fine. You find out.
But that's the right
attitude because then you're going to get stressed for nothing.
True.
Yeah.
True, yet you
Yeah.
can make,
Which in my view is not. And I feel that the most vicious stereotypical thinking is that women do not support each other. Women are drama, women are jealous, they're envious of each other, they put each other down. But I will tell you that it is social conditioning which has been fathered by a patriarchal era coming from a time when all women were good for as dictated by men. You know, when people hear those words, feminism, patriarchy, they cringe. They don't want people to speak out about, but we have to be honest for us to find solutions to issues. So it is just fathered by a patriarchy where, as dictated by men, women were only good for childbirth, procreation, and nurturing children. So what did the women do? The women, life just became a battlefield where women were just fighting to have the best breed for their children to survive. So they were just competing for the best man around for love and attention. And I feel I am testimony to the fact that female friendships now are gold because women these days, that's not what they do anymore. They choose each other. Yeah. They have learned now that we are doing for ourselves, we are doing for our families, we are doing for each other, and they've learned that there is so much space at the top for all of us to thrive. And once you get rid of the scarcity mentality, that the resources in play are not enough to serve all of us, then you will get ahead. You will find meaningful and healing personal female friendships in which you will thrive. And I feel it is something we are doing now. In so many cases, I have found people saying, but that's how women are. Women don't support each other. When you do something for a woman, they're so quick to say, a woman supporting each other? No, you're driving a narrative. A narrative that needs to stop. It was maybe true once, and not to say, like Najemba said, that her friend maybe was a little jealous of her. Not to say that they're not bad-mannered people. They are there. But that generalization, which I have seen now, is women are now doing so much for each other, and they've realized that they are stronger together. And they reach much heavier and milestones much faster when they work positively and healthier together. At least for me, the female friendships I have, my best friends are women, you guys. When I look in my past, everybody who has supported me up to this date, except my father and my brother, are women. Amazing. I have the best friendships. And when I thank life for my girl friends. When I hear you said that thing in the beginning, about guy friends, women like to say that they like my friends, I guess. First of all, those relationships that you have, it means you just don't want to do the work. Female friendships, by design, are conversational. They are deep, they are vulnerable. While men is more about action, of let's play a sport together, let's go and drink a beer, let's go catch a soccer game, things like that, right? So women are like more intimate and more intense. Men, on the other hand, are more casual and more transactional. So what does that make? It makes our relationships so fragile as women, while theirs are more surface level. Not to say that they are less significant, but because ours are more fragile, they are more susceptible to attack. Now, for you, the woman who doesn't want to do the work, first of all, you're there forgiving your bad-mannered boyfriends and husbands for doing the worst, for cheating on you, for lying to you, for being dishonest to you, for breaking your spirits. But a friend just says one wrong thing at the wrong time, and you dismiss that friendship. No, if everybody of us took, and yet the work that is needed to make a friendship thrive, a female friendship thrive, is like 1/10 of that relationship that you're killing yourself for with a man. Which, for me, when I learned it, I just realized, I just have to do X, Y, and Z, learn my friends properly, and we're good.
The same energy you put in the man.
The same energy. You need 1/10 of the energy you put in your relationships, in your bad marriages, to make a female friendship work. But do you want to do that time? Do you want to do that time? No, you do not.
Don't.
And Susan, I'm talking to you, Susan. I'm talking to you, Najemba, Bagundia. They are there. Yeah.
Okay. And to your point about furthering the narrative, I think now there are more spaces that bring women together, more events, more platforms that bring women together to further the positive narrative. And I think that we should take advantage of those spaces.
Absolutely.
I feel like one of the reasons why female relationships are complex is we don't talk often about expectations. I know we do it in our romantic relationships, but we don't sit down with like, Manuela, what are your expectations of me as a friend? I recently had that exercise with people I consider my friends.
Okay.
And this advice came from a very close friend. Because our expectations are already
Aligned.
Yes, they're already aligned.
Wow.
We're
Nice.
good. We're
Nice.
good. Yeah. So a close friend, I was struggling because
Hold on a second, you're good, but it does not take away from you
Having
to take
the
time,
conversation and
have a
ask.
conversation, and have things properly aligned.
No, I actually
agree.
understand why she
You understand
says
why I'm saying that?
we've done the expectation.
Okay,
We have.
that's good.
I actually like Pumla value very much, my female friendships, but this happened only much later in life. My 20s are such a blur. I didn't know what I was doing. For me, if you tell me nice things about yourself or intimate things about yourself, I consider you my friend.
friend.
But I realized I was doing that with many random people. I'm like, all of these people are not my friends, you know? And so I learned much later in my late 20s. Actually, I think after I got married, because now I had this thing that I had to protect.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't talk to everyone. And my marriage and family takes a big chunk of my life.
Yes.
So now I had to rework, friendships are, you put in work.
Yes.
You identify a person and you spend time with them. When you think about them, call them up, text them. It doesn't just happen organically all the time. And so I feel like I reached out to my close friends and I said, hey, I value you as my friend. Is there a way you'd want me to be a friend to you? And where I have failed in the past, would you please point that out so that I can be a better friend to you? Very, 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 very. And I feel like you need to have those conversations so that you don't assume, because we get into these mixes of, oh my gosh, she didn't come for my birthday, therefore she's not my friend.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh, she didn't come to visit my mother when she was in the hospital, therefore she's not my friend. So apart from life happening for everyone, which I think we need to extend grace to each other, you need to have that conversation. So if I consider Pumla my friend, I want to say, Pumla, it would make sense to me if you came to visit my parents when they are sick, or if you came to my birthday when I invited you, or I would like for us to have conversations at least once or twice, check in with each other at least once a week. That is something I value. And then Pumla can evaluate and say, okay, I can do that, or maybe it doesn't come naturally, I'm going to try, because maybe I consider you my friend. So my dear sisters, please have those conversations. The same way you do in your romantic relationships, sit down with your friend and express your expectation. Those that are unrealistic, we shall put them in the unrealistic bin. And those that are realistic, we shall move forward with them.
I like your one.
Yeah.
Extending from expectations there. I want to draw in from that expectation.
What are expectations?
Yeah, expectations are the thing that, and we have expectations on men and on women. Yeah,
That's
as
true.
women in general.
Yeah.
I think that we expect that when we are in a friendship, nothing wrong will ever happen between us, which is absolutely not the truth. Because we are raised differently by different people in different environments. We're going through different experiences every day, even if we're friends. The truth is we will not agree on everything. But now, every time there is like a friction, we feel like the friendship is over. And I have learned the importance of having difficult conversations. In fact, there are times I will call you and I'm saying, Rach, it's going to be a difficult conversation. We're going to have a difficult conversation, okay? And we can't brace up. But at the point when we are saying we're going to have a difficult conversation. I remember Rachel and I doing that. We're like, okay, but at the end of the day, what do we want? We want this to work, okay? So say it. I'm not going to take it personal. It's going to be your truth. You're going to set your truth on the table. I'm going to set my truth on the table in terms of expectations. So we set everything on the table, and then we pick out, that one I can do, that one no, I don't think, I don't have to. No, really, even that, no. Really, why? But why wouldn't you? And then you real get into the murky part of that conversation. You real get into it and allow each other the grace and say, okay, after we are done with this thing, we are still friends. Just because something difficult has happened, just because it's making me feel a certain way, and it's Rachel who likes to say that, Manuela, that what you just said is making me feel some type of way. And then I'm like, okay, so what part of it is making you feel a certain... But what that does is you're not raising voices. You're really just having a conversation. And after you're done, you can even give yourselves a break and say, you know what? Let me first get over what just happened. I'm still not yet 100, but I'll be back. And even if you come back to enter back into the murky conversation, come and enter it, knowing that this friendship is for life. And for me now, one of the things, after I went through this whole depression and everything, what I realized later is that I really don't have the freedom to make new friends. We are older. And the freedom, the time to start afresh, the work. So if you already have someone and you've had generally good times, and then this one thing happens, let's have a conversation about it. Let's get it over with. Or even if you're not yet ready to have the conversation, say, you know, Pumla, something is happening between this. First, give me a sec. I don't know what's going on, but I'm not fine. Let me come, allow me to come back, because you're going to start acting a certain way towards Pumla. Yeah, it does. What's in your mind will come out into your actions. So I would rather tell Pumla, you know, there's something, I don't know what it is, or I know what it is, but I'm just not ready yet to come to you for us to have this conversation, and then to be able to walk out. The way we like to sit down to talk with men, but we don't want to talk with each other when something is wrong.
Yes. That's what I've never understood. I've never talked with a man about any of my issues. It's always been girls. Always.
No, I'm saying between each other. If you have a problem between each other.
When it comes to men, many women lie about their relationships and marriages. They're not honest.
Wait, they say things like, honey, we need to talk.
Honey, we need to talk. We always trying to honey talk,
but we need to talk. Angie, we need to talk.
But you also got to, and I think that goes down to what Rachel was saying before, that you need to also be able to properly categorize your friends. That type of conversation, you see, that another issue here, which goes back to expectations and having honest conversations. If you can correctly compartmentalize and categorize people, you have friends, you have acquaintances, you have co-workers, you have business partners. And even within that, you have, in your friends, you have close friends. And a close friend is not that you can't put the same kind of expectations or have the same kind of conversation with a friend. Same box, but two a notch higher. An acquaintance, if you think that all your acquaintances are your friends as well, then you put pressure on them and certain kinds of expectations. And by the way, you should have certain expectations
of
each category. You might call me a certain word, like Angie can tell me, like, oh, that girl, she disturbs me in my ear. And we laugh it off. And we're happy about it. Then random chick there who thinks she's my friend, yet for me I may not be hers. Says exactly the same thing.
True.
And I'm like, excuse me, please. Know your who upgraded you? For you to be, because you saw Angie, talking to me like that.
True.
And it gets so bad sometimes that you can even be having an emergency, and that person who for you don't even consider your friend is the one showing up.
That's so true.
And you've got to be able to blur those, to block. Me, I blocked that kind of friendship before, where I saw that the other friend was moving so quickly, was taking me more as a friend. So I was setting her up to fail. If I fathered it, I didn't see in any world where that girl would be my friend. She was a friend to a very close friend of mine, and I think wanted to penetrate the circle. And yet for me, no. I don't feel your vibe, but I can see it really close to my birthday. But you keep there, which is okay. But when I tell her about my emergency at 3 a.m., don't come. Please help me. You're not my friend. Oh, Pumla and what? No, immediately. And I had to have that conversation with her. And then I realized I told my friend about the emergency. But because my close friend is very close to the other one, she's on the phone saying, you know what? I'm going to see Pumla. In hospital, she's not well. The other one reached before her. I'm looking at her. And I'm wondering, what are you doing here? We're not friends. I literally had to have the conversation later. I told her. Later, not at that point. I was dying.
Doesn't like
yes. And this girl is coming with flowers. She's even taking pictures, posting on a WhatsApp group where in that WhatsApp group, I'm told because she was trying.
Because when she used the word penetrate, first I was thinking, you know, like if you're a friendly kind of person, the way I used to be, I wouldn't mind doing that, but I'm not doing it because I want to penetrate anything. But if you're taking pictures, to post on, that is penetration.
Now we are friends with this person.
So I feel so in that point, I feel that you've got to be able to set and maintain clear boundaries with each of the different categories of your social connections. And every, and they've got to be different, and those boundaries have to be maintained. And you know, one of the more difficult boundaries to set, friends who you've been with for a very long time.
Really?
And you know why? Because these people saw you when you were 10 years old and you were happy-go-lucky. Then you evolved. Let me give you an example here. These two have known each other for such a long time. Manuela has grown past a time where now she says, I understand what friendship is. Rosette needs to get over the Manuela she knew before. But not every friend does that. They still keep wanting to bring up the person you were before, referring to the person you were before, referring to your past. Yet people have moved on. So Manuela is now a brand new butterfly. And that's all she wants to be seen as. Maybe she refers to her first for different purposes, like to share a story today and help other people. But there's a Rosette there in the background who even now wants to tell her new friends who she was before. Now that's where you need to set clear boundaries. That's not, I don't live in my past anymore. That's not who I am. Drop it. You used to treat me a certain way because I was a pushover. Drop it. That's it.
That was the conversation. I'm not really related, but that was the conversation we're having before the show when I said someone expected the fact that now I plan for my week. And I'm asking you to make time for me to come do something for you, pro bono, and you're telling me the earliest you can give me to confirm the appointment is the day before. I say, child of God, go to hell.
Child of God,
but then there's a disclaimer there. The friends who are changing, extend grace to your friends. Give them a time to transition to the new you. The same way that you as a mother, you have 9 months to bond with your child, and maybe an extra 3 where it's exclusive breastfeeding. You bond faster with your child than the fathers do. And then you expect, as soon as the child comes out, when the child is 1 year, that the attachment between the father and the child should be exactly the same as you, the mother, and the child, which can never, which is not true.
We wouldn't expect that, but there are some things that are pretty straightforward.
That's what you think.
For example, time.
That's what you think.
I'm saying, like time.
I've forgotten how old.
That's what you think.
I'm just saying, time. We have an appointment. It's for 10 a.m.
Auntie, so you have evolved.
Yeah, but if you remember, for you used to go for the appointments at midday.
So
and
it was bad.
And it was bad.
So
for you, you've taken a while. How long has it taken you for you now to get back? Like now, I'm a 10 a.m. person. End of discussion.
It's taken time.
But for her, you've given her one chance. To prove that now I'm a 10 a.m. person, you should have come. So when she comes and she's like, but those days you used to give me, when I would tell you some crap like, you know what, I only need an hour to, I need an hour to prepare.
Maybe I need to rephrase, but I'll
yeah, so mine is just that allow people to transition. Show yourself. Don't move from where you are, but give them time to evolve to the new you, because you
or
had
maybe
time.
What I can say is this, is that if I do that the way I am built, I will dial back.
No. You stand your ground. Stay in your ground.
I have told you.
Stay in your ground.
If I start, I know. Slippery slope.
It is a
so I'm like, if this one can't move with what I'm trying to do, I had rather avoid you, especially since you need me. It's different if I needed you.
Okay, so again, I thank you very much. It was a business issue.
Yes.
Fourth category.
Yes.
You would extend better grace to a close friend.
True. Without
If
a
a
doubt.
friendship
True.
is meant to stand the test of time,
True.
those are small
Absolutely.
things.
Absolutely.
Those are small issues. But that's why you learn who is your colleague and who is your
Absolutely.
business partner and who is your
Absolutely.
client.
Absolutely.
I like that you've pointed that out, distinguishing your close friends and with your close, who is the
Closer one.
Then who is the emotional one? Who cannot?
But also I like that you talk emotional, because what makes those friendships complex sometimes is the emotions. We are
True.
all emotional
That
beings.
is true.
True.
We
True.
are we are emotional.
Yeah.
So if you've grown, if you're out of your 20s, grow. Like let
Work
not
on yourself.
work
on
on
yourself.
yourself. Yeah. You should be able to evolve and know that we are not where we were. We are not acting the way we were at campus. All of
True.
us have changed.
True.
Then you're now married.
is true.
It
True.
has changed. So
True.
you need to evolve. I'm a person who really values my friendships. Like you
Yes.
said, I've had the longest relationship with Manuela. I've had the longest relationship with my husband. So some things are really petty. For me, I think they're really petty. I'm above them.
True.
But the value that I see in you is really above all these petty things. Because Manuela has been a very valuable person to me. If I wanted to lose her, if she wasn't of value, I would have let the relationship sleep.
Very easy.
Yes.
But because she's of value, I know the value she adds. Whatever it is that is not getting us close in the system, that's why we've mentioned many times that we'll take long without talking, but we know we got each other. She'll always be there when I need her. I definitely have to be there when she needs me the most.
Yep.
I know, she has evolved and I've seen her grow. And for me, it really made me happy. And I knew where I would be. I actually saw her shoot up. And I'm like, wow. Because other people would be like, oh my God, now that she's up there, she's not calling me. She's not doing all these things she needs to do.
about her.
Yeah.
Yet the
many
truth
do
is
that.
someone is
Yeah, it's like,
struggling.
oh, now she
They're
has
actually
better
struggling.
friends. Well,
Maybe she does.
or maybe she does. But yeah, I mean, you need to be able to distinguish.
Tell your story.
One time
There was a time we were with Rosette, and then we started listing that friends who came between us. So we were like, so how far is this one?
How did that
Where are
end?
they now?
You're thinking, my friend, this one. How about yours? Where is this one? Everybody were like, but we are here together in the car.
Yes.
Going.
We
So
made
I am
it.
that person.
Yes.
So we're like,
We made it. Now that you mentioned, I hadn't yet given my summation of I truly, especially at my age, I truly believe that when women get their beat, we make, yes, that beat, we make the best friends. And our friendship usually even transcends the grave, whereby we hand over this relationship like a baton from one generation to another. And you even start thinking you're related.
That is so true.
For us guys, my parents and the Bazrakes and the Mpendes, there is no blood there. But I can assure you, none of us can marry in that family. Our children and grandchildren have carried on with the very, very same, relationship. That said, to answer the question, I honestly believe, and I asked my dad, I spoke to my dad about it. I asked him, Dad, what do you think? Because we throw around these ideas. When you say the same thing as like good, they won't think I'm one of those feminists standing on top of a soapbox or anything like that. But my issue is, I truly believe the things that bring a lot of complications or make female relationships complex are men.
oh yeah.
Yes.
Men.
Yes.
If you see girls who went to the same school, single-sex schools, the relationships they have, those relationships go all the way, unlike us who were in mixed schools. Who was the person in between there? Men. Have you ever noticed when your spouse, your partner, your husband likes a certain friend, that relationship stays longer than others? So if, as we said in the beginning, I say this all the time, women can own this world if we just get men out of our karozi.
I don't know if that's going to happen.
By the time you're 40 plus, it best
But
have
by
happened.
the time you're 40, like you've probably lost
all
a
your
number of
And can I tell you
friends.
something? Anything you lost, was supposed to be lost. There was a
That's what I
reason.
believe as well.
There was a reason, to
And
be
then there's
honest.
exceptions like the Manuela.
Of course,
where you can
that's
go back.
true.
May never
That's
be the
true.
same, but-
That's true. That's true. That's true.
had
But
a
Pumla, yes,
Now,
the
I
DM.
love that. So I got a DM, and I just want to tell our viewers, our bump lovers, that we get your DMs all the time, and when we find a topic that we want to talk about and it resonates with something you've written to us, we've decided that we'll just incorporate your DMs into our conversations. And there may be 5 DMs that are similar, right? So just because we haven't read your DM doesn't mean we're not going to respond to it. It just means that maybe somebody else had a more comprehensive DM, and we decided to just choose that, and so you can pick responses from that conversation. So somebody sent, and sometimes they send DMs to us individually, and sometimes they send to Bump Lab. But either way, they reach us. So I would like to, let me read it verbatim. Hello, Bump Love. How do you cope with losing friends when you get married? And as you grow too, you lose a lot of friends, and you reach a point when you feel like you have no friends, you've lost trust in people, and you just feel so lonely. When I got married, I felt like not having married women as my circle, in my circles, because some talk things that are less important. And I always pray to get a better circle, because I lost the one I had when I was a girl. Number 1, do not lose or let go of your friends just because your status has changed. What I would implore, personally, what I would implore is, 1, if this is a close friend, have an honest conversation. If you find yourself in a place, I gave birth pretty young, right? At a place where nobody understood what I was doing in my marriage, in my motherhood journey. So they would invite me for things, the things that bonded us, I could no longer do with these people. And yet this is what kept us together. So I struggled. In the beginning, I struggled with FOMO, but for me, I knew my priorities. I knew I wasn't going to do anything to get to where they were. That I already knew. But I decided, so what I did was, I decided to focus more on, actually, I built other social connections. I didn't make them my friends, but I built other social connections with whom were sharing almost the same journey as I was. What that did is it made me focus less on my true friendships, but still I did not tie that, I didn't sever the knots. I didn't sever. We just kept checking on each other. I was present for their bigger milestones, but never just to go out to have a good time in a party. We are going to the beach, random, someone calls you, Saturday morning, we are hitting the beach, are you coming? No. So even they now started to realize that, hey, no, Pumla is a different, her life has changed, and should be known to us now, because you will need those people. Right now.
But also they will get into that life later.
Right now, my child is in senior 1. 13 years have passed. And ask who is the best friend to those people now? It's me. Because now I'm free. I have the time. I'm showing up for them for 2 reasons. 1, they allowed me to be a mom without speaking so ill about, Pat Pumla, you're never there for us. You don't come to see us in the hospital when we are when we are sick. You don't show up for us when our parents are not okay. I couldn't at the time. So I just built other networks. And let me tell you, I read a study by an Oxford psychologist, Robin Dunbar or something, and it was actually documented that women, mothers, so in times of crisis, what really happens? In times of crisis, women tend to look for other social connections. And for women, our biggest crisis is motherhood. This happens during pregnancy, during childbirth, and the first early years of childcare. Because there's so much work and effort going into there, you have nobody else to reach out to than other mothers. You have to reach out to someone in a similar situation, because your man does not know shit. Your friend who has no children, or whose children maybe are maybe older, maybe has forgotten, maybe doesn't understand what you're going through. So it has actually been found that the healthiest and most longest lasting social connections are between mothers. And I think I've actually said it. I've actually said it on this show. I think I told Rachel sometime that there's times when we are shooting together, and I actually feel much more connected to you ladies than I actually have felt to my actual friends, my close friends. Yeah, and maybe people I've known for years. But because we are here speaking about something that we all have in common and what we cherish so much more than anything else. And what do you think happens to our male counterparts?
They be chilling.
You've heard of that death by loneliness?
Yeah.
They suffer it from it very quickly.
Yeah, it is true.
Yes.
Because they don't maintain the same bonds. If something happens, they
my
quickly
gosh.
cut off. This is the reason, and then you become their friend.
Yes.
This is why when a woman dies before her husband,
The
more
man.
often than not, the mother is following behind.
Yes,
Very
because
close.
mothers, you're in
right
mother's
after.
union, you're in your children's business.
Yes, and
Oh
there's even
my
a term for it, it's called
God.
tend and befriend. So the psychologist termed it tend and befriend. Even when you're going through a bad time in your relationship or at your workplace or just generally in your business, you turn your attention to tend to your children and befriend other people. True. Because you realize that there's a decline in oxytocin. Oxytocin is a hormone, it's a love hormone, which accentuates social bonding. It's the same hormone, by the way, that is released even when you orgasm. That's the hormone. It's the same hormone that makes you forgive your bad-mannered husband. Yeah, because when they come and massage you and touch you, there's that oxytocin level, it goes up, and then you forget what is really happening. What is happening? So we find ourselves going to seek that oxytocin from other connections,
That's
which
true.
has actually been proven to be the best medicine for our mental health as women. That's why women live much longer because of those. So for me, for this lady, we didn't get her name. Please never sever the ties that you have with your girlfriend. Find different ways to connect and if you find that that friend of yours is really becoming problematic, have a conversation with her and say, this is what I'm going through. I can't do A, B, C, D, E.
Going by the letter that we received, there are a couple of issues that she raised, but I'll just try to, summarize what I think. In terms of loneliness, the world we live in right now, social media just expounds the loneliness. And you're thinking, my friends don't have nice nails and cute lashes and things like that. But guess what? You're looking at the reels, Instagram, yet the truth is that our real friends are right next to us. With bad nails. Next, I will insist, if you're a married woman, how about you hang out with married people? That business of trying to get unmarried people, at the end of the day, friendship is because you have commonalities. The second you don't have, then there'll always be that stretch, yes. The third, you spoke about the married people speaking about unimportant things. Has it ever dawned on you that you discuss unimportant things as well? Exactly. So sometimes it's not bad to just, listen, pick out what you can, and then instead of trying to look for new circles, within those circles that you already have, how about you cultivate relationships and find other people who find the same unimportant things as unimportant. But with regards to friendships that are lost, I truly believe so long as you haven't had like a physical or verbal altercation, I honestly believe that friendships hibernate.
Yeah,
they don't get lost.
Seasons of hibernation.
They hibernate. And then slowly by slowly you can pick up and realize this one has common things. This is somebody I would like to have our relation rise. But that would be my take.
How did we miss that issue of
That's
seasons
issue of
and
hibernation and
reasons?
seasons. I think because everybody says that.
But it's true.
That's that time. Actually, now for me, I want
There we go.
I want to talk to when a friend of yours says she's going to get married. Friend, it means something is also going to happen to your relationship with her. Don't tell yourself that all you're going to do is wear a cute bridesmaid dress, wear makeup, do your hair,
have said
do a
it.
bridal shower,
You have said
the
it.
truth is your relationship is going to change.
That's
Stop expecting
Yes.
your friend who has moved to the next phase of their life to remain the same person as they were. Let's stop that expectation.
That's
Let's
powerful.
be in a place where we can recognize that when you're coming to dance and twerk that night, you're twerking the end of a certain season.
Oh my God,
You
that's
mean at
so
the hen party?
At the hen party, or even
not at
that
the wedding,
last dance. You know that one where you're Enini hambana, hey, hambana. You are celebrating. You are hambanaring away the end of that relationship, and it should not be bad. Actually, let us celebrate it. Let us enjoy with her, because your time is coming. And you want her.
Is it though?
Is it really coming? Another season of her life might come. Maybe she's going to leave the country, and we are going to have this dinner. We are going to sit. We are going to go there to Golden Tulip in this nice environment. Sit well. When you are eating and swallowing, know that you are finishing a certain era of that relationship, and be okay with it. I beg you, be okay with it, because a time is going to come when the season can allow you to come back together, but because you have such a huge chimango, you can't. And I'm telling you this, I remember you once said it, that marriage needs a gango. Old age needs a gango. I see it with my mom now, and I think I really celebrate. But my mom is such a wise woman. Yes. All her friends now, because she didn't have a husband, her children are grown and they are busy with their children. Yes. So she's there with time. She just, when you call her, she says, me, I just need airtime. Why? She's calling. They are catching up.
That's going to be me.
Job? Where did you go? Wanji? Then who happened? You got a friend called who? Wanji? Susan did what? Choka Susan ingata arimba. Munanga, I'm going. Those old women go to weddings together. The other one has not been invited.
Yes.
That's true. So that time is coming, and you don't want to be in a place where there was a friendship that you could have reignited to enjoy in your old age. Because you severed it. And kept your mango. Then you miss out on that. Now old age we find you are annoyed, you are disturbing your sister, your daughter-in-law, you are disturbing your son. Because you don't have anyone to be with. You severed all that
you had bad manners.
Bad manners have contributed.
You can't keep friends.
That is true.
Let's know that seasons, friends come. They don't even go. They, like she said, they hibernate. And it's okay. Just write them down and say, my friend, this one with hibernate, write them down so that water kira sikiste. You are like, oh no friend, you want
even 40, they have started.
I've actually seen my mom do that. You know, like in our time now, we still value our friendships even within our marriages. I remember in those days, the women would actually sever their drop their single friends and pick up friends, married people who are friends with the husband.
Thank you.
And now I see the women coming back to those friendships.
Yes, we went to school
and nobody
together.
has a mango.
Yes. Rosette.
I want to tell her that it is okay
to bring in situational friends, are friends for that season. You don't have to throw them away since they're still single or because they've had babies. Hibernation, you brought a very good one. But it's okay to go on with, you know, your new friends that understand that they might not be close to you. You actually do not have to be friends with them. You could just call it a circle that is helping you through this season, because when you get married, you need to talk to someone who has been there or who has been there longer. Help me, this guy has done this. You're not going to call your single chick.
Who is going to tell you?
We are going out. We are going out.
Leave him. He'll see in the morning.
Exactly.
We'll come back at 6 a.m. Chimulume.
So it's okay to get those season of friends. So if that season is done, you might not keep those friends for keeps, because you know they helped you through a season. Let them go, move on with. That's how they catch up. The ones that they were not having babies, then they'll catch up and actually realize that she wasn't just being mean. This is the situation. It's tough being a mother. It's long nights. and they also reach there.
Our situational could become really good friends. We were situational friends.
Oh,
We're going to work together on our show. But now you be there,
Now we are
Angie,
family.
so Caesar, the friendship between her and Rachel. You're like,
Angie, we thank God. We
Yeah,
thank
I
God
just
for
wanted
it.
to piggyback on what Rosette said. She said you can't have good friendships if you have bad manners. And I feel like everything we have said rises and falls on self-evaluation, self-awareness, and just putting in effort to mature as a person. So being able to understand seasons and knowing, okay, Pumla is a mom or Manuela now is a mother, therefore she cannot be the same way she was, involves not being selfish. So you need to understand when you are being selfish, when you're being self-centered, when you want the world to revolve around you. Being able to do that work allows you to have good, meaningful relationships. So if you have bad manners, let's all check ourselves, because there are seasons when we all have bad manners, right?
By the way, there are seasons where we are all a toxic friends.
That
We
is
like to talk
true.
people toxic,
Yeah, that
but
is
each of
true.
us has had a time in our lives, even if we are not toxic people,
We
there
are-
are times
we're
when
just
we've
bad
been
friends.
toxic and
Yes.
we've been bad friends.
Yeah.
And we should be
Yeah.
able to recognize that.
So please, let's check ourselves and do the work, because only then can you be a good friend to the other person and also receive good friendship, because someone might be trying, but you want them to do more than they are doing. That's just self-centeredness, because there are other things happening in our lives.
Big one on friendships. That people want everything to revolve
Around
around
them.
you.
Who are you?
Relationships are so complex. You got to be a friend to Pumla, she tells you, please, we will never be friends. You got to be friend to this one, she's like, no, you're not working hard enough.
There's no winning.
There's no point do we win? But I think that it's
No, you're
not my friend like
that. You shouldn't be the first in hospital.
no, but you know, it brings into question that thing called chemistry.
Yes.
When it comes to friendship. You cannot over push chemistry. Chemistry happens. And you need to be in a place where you allow for chemistry to happen. Then you can put in
The work. But what if me, I'm feeling your chemistry, but you're not feeling mine?
Then we don't have chemistry. Don't come to the hospital.
Not chemistry.
They connect the what?
That chemistry is not chemistry. That's what that happens to relationships. That guy's chemistry.
It's just not there. But again, ladies, remember we are just conversation starters. So we'd like you to carry on with this conversation in our DM, you know, and in your personal lives. And Bump Love this week has been shot at the Golden Tulip, Kampala. The Golden Tulip, Kampala is an elegant hotel, a 4-star hotel located in the heart of Kampala on 12B Carrefour Road. So if you're looking to have an intimate casual dinner and enjoy their cafe style cuisine, please do come to the Golden Leaf. Until next time, with love from Bump Love.